know what time it is.
It's 1 a.m., man.
What's going down?
What's going down with you, man?
You got my guy Code Blue.
Man.
Talking shit is Code Red. No,
man. I ain't heard that name since what, 06, 07?
Man, we go back, my guy.
Yeah. I just went and started using my government, man. Just KODE Ransom, KODE Ransom.
That's how you know a man levels up.
Man, you hear me? Yeah.
Said,
I read.
Leave those street names alone. He said, my name is Cody.
Yeah, man, I used to hate it. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, I hated my name. Now I just be like, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's spelled different, so now I feel cool about it.
Hey, it's all good, man. I even got people in my job calling me William.
I ain't never called this man William.
Yeah, never in my
life.
Never. I didn't know you since 8th grade, bro. I ain't never.
I didn't know him since I was about single digits, and I ain't never called him no damn William.
Yeah, them was fighting words back then.
When somebody called him William, he was ready to fight.
He was always bigger than us, so
yeah.
you knew better. You know what I'm saying?
I was with my wife. I've been with her almost 10 years now, but we was together almost a year, and she thought my real name was BJ.
That's dope.
But yeah, man, we got my guy,
yeah.
Cody in the building, man.
It's an honor to have you on the show, my guy.
Man,
nice to meet you.
He really needs no introduction.
Man.
Well known, my guy.
I'm trying to get out there, you know.
My guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself, my man.
Man, I do a lot. I'm a musician, poet.
Talented.
I write films, you know what I'm saying? Big homie Randy with me. Man, and I do a whole lot of community work. That's really it, man. Like, you know, I'm just trying, like you said, trying to help people level up, man. Just so I put a lot of knowledge out there. What people do with it is what they do with it. You know, hopefully it takes them in the right direction. You know, and that's just from music to move. Like every film that I've written has a message in it. Every song I write, I try to make sure there's a point in there that, you know, people can hold on to. So, yeah, man, I'm just trying to leave something here.
Oh, you know we want to know about them songs, though, man.
Yeah, which one?
My guy did what I thought was the impossible. He done remixed Brenda's Got a Baby.
Yeah, that's the first time I ever heard a remix of that.
Man,
I think my jaw dropped. I think that Kanye West me a little bit.
Already, man. In all honesty, man, that was probably the scariest song I ever had to do. Only because, like, Tupac is, you know what I'm saying, that's one of my favorite storytellers. So, I actually started working on a project where I remixed all of his hits, like all of his main hits. Oh, and so I had put out a, you know what I'm saying, a Facebook post and was like, which songs y'all want to hear, you know, somebody redo a Tupac's. Mm-hmm. And the one song, this lady, I can't remember who it was that told me, but she jumped on the status and was like, don't touch Brenda's Got a Baby. Like that, you can do anything else, but don't touch that one. And so I seen that and I was just like, okay,
is that a challenge?
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I sat down and the more I listened to his, I was just like, man, I cannot do this story better than he did it. So I just started thinking about it and I was like, well, he never really said what happened to the baby after the baby got put in the dumpster. Like, he grabbed the baby out, but he don't never talk about it. So I was like, instead of just, you know, doing what he did, I'll just continue the story. And that's how I came up with that. But it literally only took, I'd say, probably 30 minutes to write it. Once I figured out where I wanted to go with it, like, it was... And then I used like the same rhyming word almost the entire song. I switched it up the last 2 bars, but so yeah, it was dope though. And then, you know, I got my boy Randy, and he
shout out to that Palmer boy.
Man, yeah. He did what he do on the filming, man. Like the song was, to me, was really dope, but the videos just made it, you know what I'm saying, that much better. You know what I mean? Because once you see the visuals of what I'm saying, like, yeah, that was. Came out amazing.
Paint the picture, man.
Yeah, man, that's a must see, man. If you don't see that, man, you missing out, man. They got a lot of, you know, rap that doesn't have a lot of meaning behind it, but when you find something that somebody that's just, you know, speaking facts and just somebody who could, for one, could remix Brenda's Got a Baby for one.
That's real. That's real.
Man, you gotta rock with them, man.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Hey, not only that, man, tell them about that crutch.
Man, the crutch is probably my favorite thing I've ever written, man. Only because, like, when it happened, you know, my older cousin Jay Friday, like, he hit me up and was like, bro, I think you should, you know, everybody was doing that Master P, that Bout It challenge, and he did one and he kind of mentioned crutch a little bit, and he was like, bro, like, I touched on it, but I think you should just, you know what I'm saying, you should try it. And at the time, like, I didn't like Facebook challenges at all, so I would never do none of the rap challenges. But the more I thought about it, like my dad was actually killed the same way. You know what I'm saying? When I think I was like 8 months. So he was killed by a police officer, unarmed, in Waco, Texas. So, but throughout my time of writing, I would never write about it. It was just one of those things. Like every time I would try to touch it, I would get stuck. You know. So the more I thought about it, I was like, well, this would kind of kill two birds with one stone if I'm able to do it. So I just sat down and I kept watching the video over and over and over, and to the point where I felt like I was, you know what I'm saying, I was Terrence Crutcher in that moment. So then I was just like, okay, now I'll write it from there. But it was a way to express exactly how myself and a lot of black people felt, you know what I'm saying, without coming off as, you know, combative or, you know, the angry black man. Like, now I can tell you how I feel, you know. And then Sean McGee, man, he hit me up and he was just like, bro, let's do a video to it, you know. And I'm just like, all right, you know what I mean. But he came up with the vision for it. But it was, you know, like I said, it was dope to me. Like, it's my favorite piece ever. If you know me and you've been to any show I've done, like, I do it a cappella, but I carry that with me at every show. Like, you gonna get that piece no matter what. I don't care if we turning up or whatever we doing, you gonna get that piece. And I'm gonna probably do that piece till I die. Like, that's my favorite one. So.
That's dope, man. Shout out to Sean, man. That vision, that concept, that was dope, man. Me, that was the first video that really got me hip to your music and everything. And when I seen it, I was like, oh yeah, this just the whole vision and concept. As far as the words going along with it too, I was just like, man. I was like, that's deep. I was like,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, go ahead and paint that picture for them, though, for the ones who haven't seen the video.
Man, all it is you know, it plays the Terrence Crutcher video in the beginning.
Right. And
then it has me just laying on the ground, covered in blood, and I'm just rapping the lyrics. It starts off from the point of view of Terrence Crutcher.
Right.
And so it goes through that, but then towards the end of the song, I actually change the angle, and I go to, you know, we in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah. So I go to the Tulsa, Oklahoma Race Massacre 1921. So it talks about that towards the end of it. Mostly because some of that film was shot on Greenwood. And then also, like, when you mention Tulsa, to not mention, you know what I'm saying, Greenwood, Black Wall Street, to me, it's like disrespectful. You know what I mean? So it was just like, it kind of showed like what happened to Terrence Crutcher wasn't just this one-off thing that just happens every now and again. Like, this city has a history of doing stuff like that. Right. And we also have a history of nobody being accountable for what happens to people. You know what
Nobody's ever held accountable.
So I felt like by bringing those two in, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of people that hit me up and was like, bro, I never really, you know what I'm saying, read about Greenwood. Right. They didn't teach me that in school, you know what I mean? So with me so with me being able to tell you exactly what happened.
From Oklahoma?
From Oklahoma, bro. Like, I'll be honest with you, I didn't hear about Black Wall Street, like, in depth until I was like 22. Like,
I went to Elcott, bro.
When the first time you heard about it? Because I went to Walt Whitman, and then I switched over and went to Union, but I ain't never heard that story ever. I had to learn that.
Mandatory. Because we had a teacher, you know, shout out to both of Miss Rosses.
I think you giving away your age a little bit. Nah, I'm fucking with you.
I'm older than him, so
Hey, I'm creeping up on that dirty 30, man.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it. Season.
But black don't crack.
Yeah, I hear you. It's factuals.
It will crease. Say, man. Yeah, I never really heard of I've heard it mentioned, and my grandma used to, you know, preach to me like, you need to go to Greenwood Culture Center. And I'm like, I'm not finna go in no building with a bunch of pictures. I got a video game. I got a basketball game. I'm not going in there, you know what I mean? But when I got older, it was just, you know what I mean? Just, I got into history a lot more when I got older. When I was younger, it was just, you read a book to pass a class.
Right.
But growing up, I was a reader. So as I got older, like, I would read a lot of dumb books, you know what I mean? So I was just like, well, what if I started, you know what I'm saying? Man, you know, I was on Arthur, bro. Don't fuck with me. You know? So I was just
this
like,
guy was on Captain and Underpants. Don't let him fool you. That was his favorite right
I couldn't wait for the book first.
Man, I was buying stupid books, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had like 3 of the same Clifford the Red Dog. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's real,
yeah, but as I got older, it's like, I gotta start reading something that, you know, to me, you know, knowledge is food, man. So, you know, the more I read, you know what I mean? Like, the thing about it, though, is you get hungrier as you keep eating. You know what I mean? You never get full. So that's when I was just like, okay, well, let me look into the history of this city. You know what I'm saying? So then when I did, like, soon as I read about Greenwood and I actually got the full story, like all I used to ever hear was it was a race riot. Right. When I started getting to know like people, you know what I'm saying, people personally, like I said, you hear about Sarah Page and Dick Rowland, you actually hear the story of what happened, and then you hear the accounts of the people who actually went through it. That's what have you like, man, you know what I mean? I was doing myself a disservice by not knowing that, you know what I mean? So, and you know, the system worked. You know what I mean? We went to school, me and you, we went to school here and never heard about it. Right. You know what I mean? You did, but that was in elementary.
That's because Elcott is right down the street from.
But as soon as when we got to middle school and high school, when we actually retained information, you don't hear about it.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So,
race.
But the thing is, after elementary, I had five Black History classes. And so how does that not make its way into a Black History class? Right. How does, the riots 1967 in Detroit, how does that not make it into there? You know what I mean? Like we was talking earlier, Rosewood, Chicago, Atlanta, East St. Louis, like how does none of those make it into it? And to me, even when you start reading, you start seeing discrepancies in what's going on, you know what I mean? Because the word riot makes you think, okay, well, we were burning stuff down, we were looting.
Trashing your own stuff.
Yeah, trying to come up off your own brother.
Yeah, when really all it, what it was is they were massacres. You go in and you kill the people there, for personal gain. It had nothing to do with, us. We didn't just wake up one day and say, hey, let's riot downtown on Greenwood. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it was trying to defend yourself, trying to defend your family. So when you figure that out and you see, like, a lot of stuff that we're told, you're not getting the whole story. So, but it's our job to get out there and try to figure out, what's really going on. So, that's why even on Facebook, I'll put, the historic days. I'll put the days or, the subject, and then I'll let you do the research on your own. That way, you're not going off my opinion of what happened or my views of it. You can read it and form your own opinion about it, and then go from there. But I can guarantee you, once you look up one story, you're going to look up every one of them after that.
You're going to be hooked. It's like something just calling to you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, your heart going to pull you there. Like, one thing that I do strongly believe in is, living with your heart. You know what I'm saying? Thinking with your heart. Like, I don't think with my mind at all because my mind will tell me wrong. Right. So when you think with your heart, that, to me, that's when I grew from Cold Blue to KODE Ransom. You know what I'm saying? Like,
evolution.
Yeah. When I started thinking with my heart, and the reason I say that is because, like, regardless if I like you or, my opinion of you, my heart's not going to tell me to do you wrong. You know what I'm saying? My mind will, you know what I'm saying? But my heart will never tell me to do that. And so I feel like my heart was like, hey, you need to get this information and put the information out there. And that was the same with my music, because with the Brenda's Got a Baby story, I know people who were molested by their fathers and stuff like that. Right. And so it was like, my mind is like, that ain't really a subject people want to hear. You know what I mean? But my heart is like, that's a subject people need to hear.
Talk
you know what I mean?
Especially in the Black community.
Yeah.
You probably couldn't imagine, or just, it probably would blow your mind. I mean, people you probably touched or people you probably helped.
Bro, like my phone be jumping. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing how many people actually, when I did the Crutch song, like, Crush's family, they grew up right next to my granny's house. So, I was with his cousins all the time. So when I did do the song, I didn't put it out originally. I had to talk to Tiffany Crutch first. You know what I mean? Like, I talked to her and was like, hey, I'm going to send you this song. Tell me what you think about it. So when she told me, like, I like it, you need to put it out there, that's when I was like, oh, okay, great. You know what I mean? I just didn't want her to feel like I was trying to come up off, you know what I'm saying, gain off of it. You know what I mean? Because if you know me, I don't take $1 for my work. I don't do, I don't want money from anybody. All I want you to do is take what you learn and give it to somebody else. Yeah, so, yeah, but it's so many people who were affected by it, you know what I mean? Like, to hear people say, like, man, that really made me cry. You know what I mean? That's when I was like, okay, I did it right. Because it's supposed to. Because in writing it and in recording it, I cried while I did it. Because when you think with your heart, the only downside to it is you internalize everything. Right. So when you tell me about your pain, I feel your pain. Right. You know what I mean? And it's not just while we face to face. When I go home, I'm going to think about what you went through. You know what I mean? I'm going to think about it. If a situation comes up that's similar, first thing that comes to my mind is like, man, BJ went through that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so that's the downside of it. So, in putting yourself in that position to write this stuff, like, it hurt, you know what I'm saying? But to me, like, I make my best work when I'm, you know, when I'm sad or, you know, when I'm vulnerable, when I'm hurt. That's when my best work come about. So, you know.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that would, I guess that would kind of like, as far as on the fan side or just like getting in tune with your music, that would like make you have an open heart to you, because you like, basically y'all having it in sync. Yeah. It's like you're not really listening with your mind. You want them to feel what you, you know. And I felt that when I, like that first video that I seen, that's what I got from it. That's why I was like, yeah, I'm going to listen to whatever he put out. I'm going to listen to it.
That's dope.
Yeah. And that's for sure that KODE ain't just talking about it and just trying to, you know, trending topics. Because I see KODE all the time just like always trying to, you know, help out somebody, you know. Tell about that ransom act of kindness, man.
Yeah, what I do is, I've actually been doing it for like 2 years. I put it on Facebook because it had got to the point where I felt like I wasn't doing it enough. You know, I felt like I needed some help at that time. But what it is, you know, once a month I grab like 2 families and I sit down with the parents and try to figure out what it is they struggle with, you know, because I grew up in a single parent household, so that's normally where I go. Just figure out what they struggle with and try to help them out with it. But at the same time, we do something with the kids. Like, me and my kids, we go out and do something every weekend. So I take this person's kids, I take them to get haircuts. My older brother, Keezy cuts. He cuts the boys' hair. I have 2 hairstylists, Jamisha and Sunday. They do the little girl's hair. And then I take them out. We might go to the zoo. We might go to the main event, whatever. And the parent can just get out, have a day of relaxation to themselves, you know, whatever they need to do. But in taking those kids with us, like the same stuff that we're talking about, I'm talking about it with the kids little by little, depending on the age. But you know, and my kids love to read, so you know, I give them a book, you know what I mean, and I tell them, like, you know what I mean, you can call me at any time if you need something, if you just need to talk or whatever. But when you call me, just know I'm gonna ask you about that book. You know what I'm saying? I want to know if you've been reading that book. And so, just in my time of doing it, man, I've done, I say probably 120 different families. You know what I mean? But I felt like I had looked at my Facebook. It was like, man, I got 5,000 friends. So if I can get, you know what I'm saying, each friend to help out 1 month, you know what I'm saying, like this entire city could be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? And then you can move on to another city. But I also put them in, like I said, if you say you struggle with bills, right? So I know a lot of people that's in finance and stuff like that. So I would link you in with them so they can, you know, kind of give you some knowledge on how to save money, how to manage money better. So now, even though I helped you out this month, I may help you out with your bill this month. But now, you know, going forward, what you can do with your own money to kind of put you in a position where you never will need that help again, you know, versus needing that helping hand all the time.
So it would go basically how like the older generation would tell us, you know, you give a man a fish, you can feed him for a day. You teach a man how to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime.
Exactly. And that's all it is, you know, but it's all people that I don't have an attachment to. Like, it's easy to help family, it's easy to help friends. Is it easy to help a person I don't know?
Even know.
You know what I mean? Because it may be this woman may have a drug habit. This woman may be an alcoholic. She may just be poor with money. But it taught me not to judge people. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and my kid, I let my daughter normally pick, you know what I'm saying, who we do. Like, we just go through my Facebook, or she'll come home like, Daddy, it's this girl at school. Like, you know what I mean? She don't really got that many clothes. Okay, you know what I'm saying? That's where we going. But I let my kids pick so that they can see, you know what I mean?
Dope,
like, you know what I mean? They get used to it. Like, my kids, it's natural for them to want to help. And it's because they grow up, you know what I'm saying, around somebody who does, so.
I mean, like a camel, she get dirty and no camos. I'ma take that gamble, lay her flat just like some sandals. Flip her like a channel, then pass her off straight to Lambo. All my niggas slum, all my niggas slum. I rap her like a gift.